Yeah. So in the previous class, we have discussed till the installation part and what is the configurations we have to do if we get the 403 and 404 error. Okay. Next, today we are going to discuss about Tomcat architecture and configuration. So the architecture, it will be like whenever we install the Tomcat, we are going to get the different files, folders we are going to get in the both Linux and Windows. We are going to get the same folder structure. So first is bin. That is mainly we are going to use the Tomcat's binaries and startup scripts. So if you open the file, so I will open Windows in the Linux itself. Mainly we have to use in the Linux only. That's why I will prefer Linux. So inside OPT I have installed Tomcat. Here if you open, so these are the folders we have. Bin, live, temporary, web apps, work, conf and logs. These are the folders we have and other are files. So first is bin folder. These are binary files which are included in this one. So I'll go inside the bin. Here if you see most of the files are sh. So all the sh files will be for the Linux we use and all the bat files will be we are going to use in the Windows. So these are the script files which mainly we are going to use for the startup for the to start the Tomcat we use, shutdown to stop the Tomcat we are going to use, and other are the different purpose which are created by default with the Tomcat itself. So we are not going to use much them, but these two files we are going to use with the Tomcat whenever we are going to start and stop. Next is conf. So this is global configuration applicable to all the web apps. So conf folder is applicable for all the web apps. It is a global configuration. We call it configurations conf global configuration. So it contains these are the file web.xml. This contains the web.xml file. XML it will be there regarding the web applications. And other than that, we have multiple files. Mainly we use Tomcat users.xml. So this is the one Tomcat-users.xml. This particular one we are going to use to set up the credentials. Yesterday we have already set up the credentials. And next is server.xml. So server.xml is another very important file which we are going to use. Server.xml, you can see I have given how to change the port number. So to change the port by default it will be there 8080 by default the port number. And if you want to change the port number, for example in the real time we are going to use multiple application with the same files. That's why we are going to use 8080. Instead of 8080 we can use any other port as well if required. Once again, okay, if you want to change the port number, so instead of 8080 we can use any other port number. Let's see how to change the port number. In the server.xml file we have to go to connector port, this one. You can see this is a connector port. There you can go and change the port number. So I will take any port number we can give. For example, I will take 8090. Instead of 8080, I will take 8090 and I will save it. So now cd dot dot from here cd bin I will go and then I will run the dot slash startup dot sh. So it's going to start the Tomcat. Tomcat is started. If you check ps-ef grep -i Tomcat. So Tomcat is started already. It is showing the process ID. Now, if you try to run the Tomcat as we have executed yesterday, you can go here public IP 8080. If you give, it won't work because we have changed the port number, and we have to give 8090. Now also it won't work. So I want to show you why it is. So it is not loading. So what is the reason? We have enabled the port 8090, but it is still not running because the
Restart
security
the
no security groups have just started now itself, Tomcat, but still not working because security groups we have not enabled. Yesterday we have enabled for the 8080. Hope you remember in the EC2 instance
inbound
security.
rules.
Yeah. So this one I have enabled, but not 8090. So now I am going to add the rule custom TCP 8090. I will take and my IP save rules. Now it's working fine. Okay. This is how we can change the port number of the default port number of the Tomcat. Okay. Because in the next we are going to discuss Jenkins. At the time, Jenkins also same default port number is 8080. But we can't run two different applications on the same port number. So at the time we can use changing the port number for any of the Tomcat or else Jenkins also we can change it. We can discuss later. Okay. That is the use of conf folder. So in the conf folder, what and all files will be there? Conf. One is web.xml and Tomcat users, uh, Tomcat-users.xml. That is for user credentials we are going to set up. And next is server.xml. We are going to set up the port number. We can change the port number in server.xml. Next is context context.xml. So this is the global configurations context.xml which we can see here, but we are not going to change anything here in the context.xml. Same context.xml file will be available for the other folder as well. If you see here they have given web.inf, web.xml, cd cd web apps manager. See, this is also context.xml. This context.xml is different and that one is different. This is inside the manager is for the manager reference, but when we see in the inside configuration folder, that is for the globally. So we are going to change the configurations in the context.xml file, that is for the 403 error, that is this one, in the only for a web apps folder. Inside web apps folder there will be a file called context.xml. For that one we are going to change. So you have to remember these two because two different context.xml files will be there. One is global, another one is for manager level. Next, okay. These are the main files which we are going to use. Logging properties and all, it is for the logs only. And Catalina properties, Catalina logs which it's going to display. If you check, so these are logs. It will be stored, but we are not going to check anything on this one. We are going to use mainly these files whichever I have explained. Okay. So Tomcat users XML file, server.xml file is the main important in this particular folder, conf folder. Okay. Next we are going to go back. Next folder is libraries. So next is libraries. Before going to that, there are the default installation provides one policy files that is called catalina.policy. So if you check it here, catalina.policy default installation, it will provide the Catalina.policy, that is for specifying security policy purpose it will use. And next is two property files. One is Catalina.property, another one is logging properties. These two will be provided by default, logging and Catalina.properties. And four configuration XML files, that is server.xml, we have already discussed. Then web.xml. Server.xml is main configuration file of the Tomcat, and web.xml is the global web application deployment descriptors. And next is context.xml, that is a global Tomcat specific configuration options which we are going to use with the context.xml. Next is Tomcat users.xml, that is a database of user password and role for authentication and access control purpose we use. The con also contain a subdirectory for each engine. Example, Catalina, which is in turn contain a subdirectory for each of its hosts. So you can see subdirectory, it will be there in the conf. So it is contained the local host because we have executed for local host only. That is a local host it contains, not for any other host we have created the Tomcat installation. You can place the host specific context information similar to context.xml but named as a web app.xml for each web app under the host. So if you want to place in the different host, then you can place it same folder, same like context.xml, and we can use for each web app under the host. But we are not going to use in the real time. Mainly we have to know about these four configuration files. Next is libraries. So libraries is going to keep the jar file that are available to all web apps. So all the web apps, whatever available, it's going to display in the libraries. So these are all the jar files which are required for the Tomcat, all the web apps. And the default installation includes servlet API jar, that is for servlet, and JSP, jasper.jar, and EL file. So these three will be included by default. And also keep the jar files for of external package here. Like if you want to add the JDBC drivers, that is for the database purpose, and standard jar like JSTL. This and all, if required, we can add it if any jar files required for the Tomcat web app. So all those jar files will be stored under this particular libraries directory. Next is logs. It contains the engine log file. So Catalina log file is a logs. So you can see here Catalina.out localhost. So you can see here the Catalina log. So now I'm going to check the logs for the Tomcat. How we can check it? We can go to tail -f Catalina. So each and every date. So today is the 30. It is storing the logs with the name of that particular date. So it will be stored with a name today's date. So in the real time also it will be stored same. It will be fetching every day new logs. So this is the one you can see here. These are latest logs. If I click on the particular login here, if I click here, the logs will be fetching 1242 17 152. Let's see. So the logs should be fetching whenever we run something. The logs will be automatically fetching. Date 52 now, but it is showing same. Let's run another one. File -f localhost. See, here it is 53.0. So whenever we click on it, the logs will be fetching. Manager app I'm clicking. So it is clicking. So for the manager app, it is going to display, store the logs as a manager with the name of the date, whatever the date you are running. And for Catalina, it logs it will throw whenever you stop and start the application, then it will fetch the it will store the logs under Catalina dot log file. That is how different logs will be stored. The different names. One is Catalina dot log, and another one is manager dot log. Next, localhost log dot log. So the logs contains the engine log files that is Catalina dot this particular format it will be there, and host log file that is a local host and dot log, and other application log files such as manager host manager will be stored under logs. The access log created by the access log wall is also kept there. So access logs also will be stored here only. You can see where localhost. No, access logs is not yet created here. Yeah, this one localhost access log. Today it is created. So all these logs will be stored here only. So you can copy this file name and you can check for the logs. That's why, like, why when we have discussed in the Linux, these commands are all we have discussed. If you know those commands, you can run whenever required. These are logs. So these are username. You can see access. This particular one will be access logs. That's why it is showing the username, which user has accessed, and what is the HTTP code. So this is the HTTP code which we get. 200 is means everything is looks fine. Like that, it will be storing. This is the user ID, and what is the time when we have clicked on that particular login. Based on that, it will display. See, whenever I click now, I'm here 5514. Whenever I click on this particular manager app, the user session will be create a new one. That's why it is showing with a different 5527. Like that, it's going to create. So whenever the user clicking on something in the Tomcat, each and every click it's going to generate some logs in any of the files. So in the real time also same, we have to find out the logs for some issues which we are facing. Kind of like application is not loading properly or application not throwing the data or any exceptions. Then we have to check the Catalina logs, localhost logs, access logs, these kind of based upon the issues. Next is web apps directory. This is the default app based web application based directory of the host local host. So cd web apps, if you see here, this is the base directory for the default application deployment. So whenever you are going to deploy any application into Tomcat, this is the folder where we are going to deploy our application. Now, for example, I will directly show you the how to deploy application. Cd. So here I have a new application. Target directory is there, right? Cd target. Sorry. Here my one web application dot war file is created. So now I am going to back from here to cd opt tomcat web apps. Here I am going to copy this particular file. So by using copy, what is the path? This is the path. Paste slash maven web application dot var and paste. So if I check now, Maven web application.var is deployed. If you refresh it, as of now it is showing only 5: manager, host manager, examples, docs, and slash. See, Maven web application is created here and it is showing archetype created web application. If you click on this one, okay, the origin server did not find the current representative for the target resource. Okay, it is not throwing the data. It should working fine, but it is not running. But the deployment stage is same. So whenever you are going to get the requirement from the development side to deploy an application. At that time, what you have to do is you have to copy that war file. Which first thing is you are going to get the source code from the development side. That is this one, and you are going to inside that you are going to clone the directory into local, and you will generate the source directory by using you will generate the war file by using the mvn commands. So now what I will do, mvn clean. First I will clean the target directory. Done. Now I will do again mvn install. So build is success again. Now I will go inside cd. Okay, again it is created today with the date, all the files created. Now I will copy this maven web application file to opt Tomcat web apps. So it is already existing. That's why it is asking override. I can give yes and it will store. Now I will check it whether it is listing or not. Maven, sorry, opt Tomcat and web apps. So it is deployed once again. Still it is showing same. Let me restart the Tomcat. So slash opt Tomcat cd bin shutdown manager app. Okay. So it is throwing error as the path is not available. So you can check the logs and you can find out. Same like we have, you can go back. So I will check the localhost logs. So it is throwing error here. You can see these are logs. Whenever we click, these are the exceptions. You can call it tail -f. Otherwise, you can give tail. These are the log file data which you can find out what is the error on that particular time, which when we click on it. But there is no exceptions. I can see here default instance manager. At that time, we can go to inside. Otherwise, you can cat localhost dot 30 grep error. Nothing is there. -I exception. See exception. Class not found exception at the time of 12:57. Yeah, just now. So you can check this one in the Google. You will get to know. So your application is failed to start because of the Jakarta AE namespace mismatch. Root cause 5. So downgrade the Tomcat. Okay. So Tomcat 10 is not supporting for our application. That's why we are unable to use it. Otherwise, we can do migrate your application to Jakarta recommended for a future proofing. So we can use this one, update a Maven dependencies on the pom.xml file. So in the Maven, we have already discussed, right? Adding the pom.xml like the dependencies. So remove old Java X servlet and then we can add it. So I'll go back to my Maven project, cd new application. So I have a pom.xml here. It is asking one by root dated swap. It is checking. So what we have to do is they have given we have to remove the old java.exe servlet. So these are the dependencies: test dependency, group ID, JUnit, Spring Framework, Spring. See this one, Java X servlet. We can demo. So you can go here and write slash dependency. So otherwise you can directly copy this one and add it, because Tomcat 10 is not supporting for my application. That's why I'm adding again. So you can go here. It should be like the format should be the lines and everything should be aligning. Otherwise, we are going to get the issue as well. So make sure exactly the lines should be perfect with the XML. Otherwise, it won't take, and also it will throw the error. So here we have to use the Tomcat 5. They have mentioned if you are on Tomcat, we have to use the 5. So these are the dependencies. We can add same same method we are going to use in the real time as well. If some dependencies are missing, then we can add it by running the by adding into the form.xml. Now I'm going to use mvn clean. Clean is done. Target is not available now. Now I'm going to add the mvn install. So again it is showing throwing error. No class defined Java servlet exception. Okay. Update Spring Framework or log reference Tomcat 10. Okay, we have to update the source file as well. Import java.servlet. Old it was. Now I have to as a jakarta.servlet. So make sure you note it, because now my source code I have to change this one as well. src cd main java cd com vim lower dot java. Where it is not there, right? Import jakarta servlet. Import cd web app.
Can't we use grep to find out Java?
Where in the file, right? Inside file.
Yeah, anywhere with presence.
No,
Find it.
inside file means only one file you can give, but the keyword we can't search for all the files at a time.
Okay,
So
okay.
Java source file only it is asking. Let's see. Java ls cat Hello world. So like this we can use only if it is available, then only it will show import. So here it is there, Spring framework only is there, but not there any Java X dot servlet. Nothing is there. CD test. I'll check in the test as well once. Java. I don't think it will be there here.
Can we use find command?
No, find is to find the file name, only files. Find like if you want to check for that particular file, then we are going to provide the name and file name. The inside content we can't search anything.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do one thing then. Tomcat, I will do the reinstallation to the latest instead of 10, I'm going to use the 9 version now.
Degrade version.
Yeah, it will not take much time. Tomcat. So 1 second, modify the source code is fine. So we can use this one as well. They're asking. It won't work. Okay, we will go back. CD opt. Zip. So we have to do all the changes once again here. Conf vim tomcat user.xml. -gui. No. Now I am using two Tomcats in the same server, but the port is different. Let's see it will work or not. Tomcat is started. It is not running. So Tomcat is not running now. Start. It is still not loading. Again, let me check the security groups. Everything is fine. Yeah, 8080 is there. Still destroying error. Okay. So I have taken my IP. So IP is changed now, right? That's why it is throwing error. Now I have taken everywhere. Working fine. Okay. Now it is running. Now let me take the application once again from here. How we are going to use in the real time? Same. We are going to clone the application. I'll delete my existing application first. CD projects rm-rf new application. Clone. I'll go to my new application. Here target is already there. CD target. Now in web application dot var is there. So I'm going to copy this one. CP opt tomcat where we have to copy it in web apps. But first we have to provide the file name. Maven web application dot var. Now if I check opt tomcat 9 web apps, it is present. Let's see. Yeah, see, this is how application is deployed. Previously, the version was not matching. That's why it was not showing. So now it looks fine. Actually, this is my old app which I have static web page I have created. So normally in the real time, we will get more data. These are just a single page application. But whenever we click on any data, any URL, it should fetch other data from the database. Here, database is not attached. That's why it is only showing a single page data. So the Tomcat which we are going to use just for a deploying application. After that, we are going to inform to the development team as a deployed and also support team. They are going to validate the application whether it is working fine as expected as the latest version and proceed further. So this is a deployment. Normally we do in the Linux only, not in Windows. In the Windows, normally how we do same. We are going to where we have installed a Windows softwares. Here we go inside Tomcat and here website. Here we are going to copy the file, but in real time we are not going to use the Windows. Directly we use command line. That is by using the Linux operating system only. That's why I have mainly explained in the Linux. So that is a web apps folder which we use as a web application based directory. Okay. The next is work. So work is it contains the translated servlet source files and classes of the JSP or JSF files. So if you open work cd opt, you can see here cd work This contains Catalina folder inside, and inside that one we can see localhost. So whatever the host name we are using, that particular localhost, that particular one it's created, and whenever you create a new application, it will automatically it will come here as well. So this is for my application which I have deployed just now. Org, all the details will be there regarding the source files and the classes of JSP. So those source files will be stored under this particular work directory. Inside work, we are going to it's going to create a new localhost file, localhost directory, and it will be stored inside that one. Like these and all, we are not going to check much, but just for understanding, we should know what and all the directories it will be present. So home JSP.class and Java, both the files it will be present here after the deploying. So it is organized in the hierarchy of engine name, that is Catalina, then host name, whatever the host name, and then web app name, and followed by the Java classes package structure. So if you see here these two files, see work inside work, it's going to create a Catalina by default, and next is localhost, and next is application name, next is org, then Apache, inside Apache JSP files with a this particular name. It's going to create a separate name for whenever we deploy, and then inside that one there will be two different files. One is class file, another one is Java file, that is a JSP files. Next, temp directory is nothing but temporary files. Wherever you go, temp is nothing but temporary files. It's going to store inside the temp directory. cd temp. So currently there is only one temp, save to delete TMP. So that will be that particular temporary files it going to store under temp directory. Okay. Next is we have already seen about how to change the port number in Tomcat. So in the server.xml file, we can change the port number. Next is server status and manager app. To access the server status application and manager app, so whatever the Tomcat 7 and above below roles as introduced. So these roles we have yesterday we have already created, right? These particular roles if you have, then you only can check the server status and manager app. So currently I am able to see. So if you go to the login first, see you can server status. This is the server status. Whatever the application version you have you are using, and what is the architecture version, and what is the host name where you have deployed. Other details you can check it here. All the details about the server. This is about the application server status purpose. We are going to check it. What is the heap memory, how much initial and non-heap memory, total how much it is used, and maximum what is the size used percentage. All these details you can see in the server status. So if you want to get the server status details, mainly manager GUI is very important to get the access. Manager status is only for status page purpose we use manager status. Even if you have manager GUI, that is enough to get all the access. Manager GUI and admin GUI. If you provide below line in Tomcat users.xml, we will get the access for below. So same. These buttons, if you want to get it, then you have to provide the manager GUI permission, and then you will get the server status and manager app. And if you provide the admin GUI, then you are going to get the host manager permission. See, now I can see all the access. It is not authorized to view this page because admin GUI is not there. Let me check it once. cd conf Tomcat users XML. Sorry, admin GUI. I have provided the permission, but still it is showing. Okay, admin GUI and admin script both I have to provide. So I'm going to add once again. role, role name, admin hyphen script. So if I provide this admin script, then only I can access the text interface. That's why I have to add it admin hyphen script. Shut down. So server status I can see. Manager app also I can go inside, but only host manager I am unable to get the access. Let's check once again. User with admin GUI role should not be granted the admin script role. So admin GUI I have given, admin script also I have given. Cat everything looks fine. Admin GUI, admin script. Go back.
How about the commenting the line?
Which one?
We made a comment last yesterday, right?
Yeah, that one is already done, I think. Where CD, web apps, manager, web INF, meta INF it is, not web INF. Vim context.xml. So I have already commented. This is a line which you have to do.
Okay, okay.
That is fine. CD, one second. I will do the restart. Yes, hyphen EF, grep, hyphen I, Tomcat. Now we have to do the startup. It is started now. No. Post manager application. So I will remove admin GUI. Okay. Except this one, I think this is not available now. So this mainly we are going to see the information about the host manager. It is showing as use if you provide the below information, that is admin GUI only. But as of now, it is not available. Manager script role name. Now also same. When your IP address is blocked by a security wall, so manager they are asking only two roles, admin GUI and manager GUI. Still, it is not working. Um, Manager hyphen GUI, admin hyphen GUI, admin hyphen script, manager hyphen script. Actually, only these two rules are enough, manager GUI and admin GUI, but still it is unable to find out. Okay, I understood now. CD, you can see here manager and host manager, both different files are there, directories. We have to go inside host manager, and here there is a same like manager. We have to go to context.xml and we have to comment here. So for manager we have done everything, but same like that we have to do for the host manager as well. Understood, right? So now I have done. Now I will go back, shut down. Startup research. Now if I run once again, it will work. See, now it's working fine. Same. So inside this one, like we are going to get the same Tomcat virtual host manager details. And if you want to add the virtual host, you can add the virtual host details here. And local host will be already by default, it will be there where we have installed. This is the information about the host manager we can get here, and the server status same. You can go back to server status from here as well, and host manager help if you have any details, but this one we are not going to get the access. In the documentation we are not going to discuss much because we are not going to see in the real time. Mainly we should know about how the configuration will work, and if there is any issues, same how we have troubleshooted the two logs, same like that we have to find out the issue. And virtual host manager also we are not going to use much. Mainly manager app we use, and then server status we will check it, and then deployments. So here also we can directly deploy the war file, but this is not recommended because we are not going to open Tomcat at all. Mainly we do from the Linux command line itself. So if you want to get the permissions for that particular uh, buttons, then we have to provide the this particular roles, admin GUI and manager GUI. So for the host manager, we have to provide, I'll, uh, we have to comment val tag in context.xml for this one as well. Tomcat slash web apps host manager. Okay. This is about host manager and server status, which we can see. And next is deployment. We have already discussed deploying the application in Tomcat server is nothing but putting a war file in Tomcat web apps directly. So directly into the web apps folder, we are going to deploy the Tomcat. That is a war file. So once we get the war file from the after running the maven goals, we are going to get the war file. That particular war file we are going to deploy into Tomcat. For every application deployment, need to restart the Tomcat server. So once you deploy, we have to in the real time also we have to restart the Tomcat. And but while restarting the Tomcat in real time, you make sure you are in the maintenance window or not, because if you restart something while working hours, it will affect the downtime of the application, and also you are going to get the escalations. So make sure while doing any restart of the application servers or pods or any servers, you have to get the higher authority permissions before going to restart or shut down the servers. Once the server restart, Tomcat start will unpack the var and make the application available. Same like how we have done, it will available. In the real time, we are not going to come inside the Tomcat and we will not check the application like this. We are going to check, for example, you are deploying your application as a Amazon, otherwise AWS, then we are going to check like this, the URL, whether it is working fine or not, and then login, everything we are going to check. Mainly it will be checking by support team. That's it about Tomcat. So Tomcat is mainly for the deployment purpose. This one we are going to integrate with the Jenkins as well, and we will see in the next week class. So tomorrow I am going to start with a Sonar Cube introduction to installation, and maybe in the tomorrow or def tomorrow it's going to finish. Then we'll proceed further for the advanced tools. That's it for today. Thank you.